After shelving Dream Factory and breaking up the Revolution, abandoning Camille and having Crystal Ball rejected by the record company, Prince and Warner Brothers finally agree on Sign of the Times. Welcome back to Red Mug Music. I'm Brian. I'm glad you could be with me today. I hope you're doing well. We're going to complete our journey to Sign of the Times, and stay tuned more towards the middle of the video when we're going to talk about the Black Album and how it's connected to Camille. That's very interesting, so please stay tuned for that. And before we go on, I want to stop here and ask if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. If you could do so, I would appreciate it. And you can also click on the bell so anytime I have a new video, which is usually on Sundays, but sometimes more often than that, you'll be the first to find out. So I would appreciate that. Now let's get back to it. Prince was finally able to make the record company happy with this album. So Sign of the Times is finally going to be unleashed. Now, he had to drop songs like Rebirth of the Flesh. He didn't have to. He decided to drop songs like Rebirth of the Flesh, Crystal Ball, The Ball, Joy and Repetition, Shockadelica, and Good Love. And if you want to know where to find those, just watch those previous videos that I've done on these, the Camille and the Dream Factory and the Crystal Ball album, and it'll show you where to get those if you want them. But sequencing has changed up a little bit. And he also added a song. Now, Rebirth of the Flesh was dropped completely and replaced by the song Sign of the Times, which sounded a little bit out of place to me. A song about the world's problems, followed up by a song called Play in the Sunshine, and then a dance number called Housequake, just really seemed to confuse the ear. There's so many different types of moods going on here that it was confusing to me. And also, I never really understood why Prince put a live track on a studio album. It didn't make any sense to me. I usually don't like when artists do this or bands do this, but he did, and it was kind of weird. And I didn't understand why Prince ended up cutting all those other songs, but adding or including or keeping in the live track on the album. I've always thought it was strange to have a live track on a studio album. I've always thought it was weird, no matter who it is, but he did it here. And another strange thing about that is it's basically the Revolution. And I know he pretty much tried to cut them out of this album entirely. So to put them in like that, maybe that was just a tribute to them. But I just thought it was extremely strange. But you know what? I love Sign of the Times. No matter what it sounds like, I think this is probably Prince's best album. And it's one of my favorite albums by Prince, probably my favorite album by him, and one of my favorite, probably top 10 albums of all time of mine. So this is an extremely important album to me, and I love it. You know, the thing about Sign of the Times, it's very simple, but it's really powerful. And it shows you so many different sides of who Prince is, like his very serious side or his playful side, or you get to get a glimpse of his humor, which I think is extremely underrated. And you also get to see his musical ability, not like you didn't know he had it, but just all the instruments that he's playing, his vocal range and his lyrical mastery is phenomenal. To me, Sign of the Times is an absolute masterpiece. But I don't think Sign of the Times would have ever existed if it weren't for Crystal Ball, Dream Factory, and Camille. And actually, speaking of Camille, let's talk about the Black Album now. Now, if you don't know anything about the Black Album, it was released in 1994. But it was supposed to have released in 1987 to be a follow-up to Sign of the Times. And the reason for the album, it was an effort to win back the black audience for Prince because of all the criticism that he had become too mainstream and poppy, and he was trying to do that. Well, the reason I'm bringing up the Black Album is because apparently Camille played a part in the making of the Black Album. Just like the Camille album, the Black Album was just going to be a black cover. His name was going to be excluded completely. And it was just going to be released to the public, and they were just going to see how it went. Even the song Rock Hard in a Funky Place that was supposed to be on the Camille album ended up on the Black Album. After being pulled right before its release, according to Prince, he blamed someone or something named Spooky Electric. Now, Spooky Electric, if you can remember being mentioned in the songs I Know and Positivity from the beloved Love Sexy album, is another alter ego, completely induced by Camille. But Spooky Electric was very dark and very demonic, so kind of look at it like Camille was light and Spooky Electric was dark. Prince eventually decided that the Black Album was evil, and it was evil because of Spooky Electric's involvement in the making. And that's why he pulled the project right before the release. Except for the promotional copies, they had already gone out, and a lot of people already had a copy. And that's where the bootlegs came from. And if you didn't know, this Black Album is probably one of the most bootlegged ever to exist by any artist or band. So like I said, the Black Album was supposed to be released in 1994 for, I think, just a couple of months. And so hopefully you were able to get a copy when it came out. I've got a copy, actually. It's in my CD player right now because I've been listening to it. But it has songs, if you don't know, like Le Grind, Cindy C., which is a song about Cindy Crawford, Dead on It, where he's making fun of rappers. Then we have When Two Are in Love, which that made its way over to the Love Sexy album. Bob George. Now, to me, I think this is Spooky Electric in full form. If you haven't heard it, he's got a digitally lowered voice, kind of like you hear Camille is tuned up. And this voice is tuned way down. And this character is not a very nice person and has a gun and doing some terrible things. And so I think this was Spooky Electric in full form. Then you had Super Funky Califragisexy. Then you had United for West Compton, which was an instrumental, which basically they just jam. And then after that, the last song was Rock Hard in a Funky Place. Like I said, came from the Camille album. If you want to take a look at the video I did on the Camille album, I'll link it up above, and it's going to be down below, as well as the Dream Factory and Crystal Ball. But that's the reason why I wanted to bring up the Black Album in relationship to Sign of the Times, because of Camille. It's like Camille's shadow, Spooky Electric, is the reason that it was even created and the reason why it was pulled. So anyway, this was fun. Go out and get your copy of Sign of the Times Super Deluxe album, and you'll be able to make all these albums, like I said, Dream Factory, Camille, and Crystal Ball. They'll be linked down below, and I'll show you exactly how you make those albums. And again, based on some listener questions, these are the actual official formats. And I used, if there were more than one format, I would use the last one, the one that it would look like it was going to be released. So I'll put those links down below for you. You can follow me on Instagram at RedMugMusic. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/RedMugMusic. I'm also on, have a website named redmugmusic.com. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell every time a new video comes out. You'll be the first to know, and that helps us out. Also, comment down below and let me know what other albums or songs or rankings or anything that you would like to see on this channel. I would love to see your comments there. And again, this was fun. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys next week. So whenever you're ready to book your next Disney or Universal vacation, head over to doabledisney.com and request your free, no obligation quote today with Holli Carter. You'll get the personalized service with expert guidance you need for a vacation you deserve. So go to doabledisney.com, listed in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen for your free, no obligation quote and give your family something to look forward to. and tell Holli that I sent you.